Hi. So today is the seventh day of August. August is the eighth month, which is the number representative of karma, of infinity, of eternity, of negative infinity, positive infinity, negative karma, positive karma. If you look at the number eight horizontally, it looks like glasses, and your karma is something that really only you are able to see clearly and accurately and judge accurately. We will be talking about how this relates to the number seven, seven being a number that is representative of luck, both luck, well, both good and bad luck existing within the concept of luck. Um, seven being a divine number, as in like the seven seals. I'm pretty sure that's like a Jesus thing, like breaking the seven seals and stuff. The seven deadly sins. Seven being like a very divine number. Like, why would seven be a divine number? Seven is like a divine number because luck is random, right? So having like having something happen that is bad luck, just such a minor thing, may just be a coincidence. It may just be like a stroke of bad luck, and it's random, right? Like, it's not your fault that you end up being the last person in line when you walk into a store. It's like, that's not like divine karmic luck reaching at you. It's just the matter of how things work. Luck and randomness play a really big role in like games. And if we think about life as like a game, the first letter in game being G, G being the seventh letter of the alphabet. So like kind of like a karmic game in a way, where there's, in a regular game, there's this thing called RNG, which is like in programming is a random number generator. And what that'll do is it'll just randomly pick a number between a set of two numbers. And that becomes, in that closed system, in this game environment, that becomes the luck. It becomes the randomness. Or if we think about that game being like life, the universe must have, or probably, or in my opinion, should have, like a really good RNG system, a really good equation that when you roll dice, you get a certain probability of something happening, which is like mathematics in a way, which is really why this numerology stuff isn't total BS, is because like it's just math. It's just spiritual math. The other thing right now, and like I didn't plan this, but like if you think about like the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind drives the conscious mind. It doesn't like drive it as like the conscious mind is actually the one that's driving it, but the subconscious mind is like one of those backseat drivers, or like the passenger giving directions to like the rally driver and saying turn this way, turn that way, turn, like there's going to be this obstacle ahead. So I've never made one of these videos chewing gum. I'm chewing gum. The first letter in gum is G. G is the seventh letter of the alphabet, which is appropriate because when you swallow gum, people say you get 7 years of bad luck. So yeah, is that crazy? Which is why, in a weird way, you shouldn't swallow gum, because subconsciously you may feel like that's true for some like weird reason. And you also like shouldn't dispose of gum the wrong way. But in reality, gum is like really just like part of nature. Like gum is like you know how they get gum like naturally. They just like it's the sap of like a tree, I'm pretty sure. So we're chilling. We disposed of that naturally. I didn't like put it on the pavement or anything. Threw it out into nature, which is what we do with all things really. If we think about landfills, stuff like that. But if we think about like karma being like the number 8, like being like being summarized very well by the word karma. I know K is the 11th letter of the alphabet, H is the 8th, and I will throw in like some words, H words that make sense with all this. But if we think about like that concept of like 7 being representative of like a game or a genius, a genius, as in like if you think about genius. I'm not sure about this, but I'm pretty sure genius is derived from like genie, right? Which is derived from like jinn. And like when you summon a jinn, jinns are like demons, kind of, right? But there's good jinns and there's bad jinns, and like there's good luck and there's bad luck, and you have to be very particular about what you wish for from a jinn, right? From a genie, because they'll be able to manipulate your wish into giving you something that is like more obtainable or maybe cursing you. That's why whenever I hear someone around me and they say, "Oh, I wish this happens," or "I wish that happens," or "I wish," and people put such little weight in the word wish that it is frankly disgusting to me. So I always tell people, careful what you wish for. Because think about this, wishing is a magical thing. You wish upon a star. And when you wish, you're telling your subconscious mind, you're giving your subconscious mind a target. You're giving it a thing that you're wishing for, a wishing force. So I think about like a wishing well. Like what is a well? A well is like a deep place where water lives. Like your subconscious mind. If we associate water with emotions, like a deep well of emotions. When people feel well, they feel good. There's a lot of water. There's a lot of emotions, and the emotions are good. When people say, "Well," it's like that water is stagnant. You know, there's something in that water that shouldn't be there in that well. Well rhymes with hell, rhymes with bell. The bells of hell wish you well. Understand that, like, understand that hell is a deep place, like a well, you know? And while heaven, H, is a high place, heaven is high up, it's your higher conscience. It's also deep. It's deep in the inverted direction. It's deep going up. So understand that. And careful what you wish for. I always tell people that. Careful what you wish for. Because you're painting a bullseye for your subconscious mind to chase after. And it may grant you that wish with unintended consequences, which is why intention is so important when you're casting a spell or when you're healing someone or helping someone or even hurting someone. Your intention when you hurt someone. Are you intending to hurt someone for the rest of their lives, or are you intending to hurt someone to teach them a lesson? The karmic game we play, understand that like your karma, a lot of it's random, bro. Like a lot of your karma is just random bad luck. Things that happened to you growing up, like the family you were born into, maybe you had some bad karmic bad luck. maybe your previous life, you were born into like such an amazing family that the universe was like, oh, we can give him or her, or we can give them sort of, not the best family starting out, because it's like, yeah, you got a really good hand last time. Why don't we see what you can do with not as good of a hand, or not more of a challenging hand? So understand that a lot of your karma is just things that you just ran into just by bad luck, by chance, by randomness, by RNG. Like the RNG of the randomness, the bad luck of Judas. Judas, in my mind, Judas was actually the most like Jesus. Jesus starts with J, Judas starts with J. There's like that kinship in their names. Judas became a kind of antichrist, which is more of a Christ than being not an antichrist. An antichrist has a purpose. They're driven towards a goal. They're an antagonist, but even the antagonist has like a deep backstory, a backstory filled with motivation and different passions and drive for their goals. So understanding also like a lot of your karmic luck, maybe just karmic good luck. You born into like a strong body. You born with a beautiful voice. You born with no good looks. You born with being really tall, or being the right height, exactly the right height that you need to be to do a certain activity. Um, like imagine the karmic bad luck in being born into a family of miners and being like super super tall, like 7 feet tall, ironically 7 feet tall, and then having to crawl into a mine shaft and disappointing or not being able to live to your family's expectations, because like it's horrible for someone that tall to be in like a mine shaft. But the karmic good luck of being born like the shortest of that miner's family, and then being able to walk through the tunnels like a savage. So understanding that, like, don't take so much karmic credit for your karma. Understanding that a lot of it is just random. You know what I mean? Just random things happening. And that's what makes life beautiful. Because if it was so mathematical, if it was so logical, if the world was just logic, if it was just dualistic in nature and we didn't have that chaos element, um, we wouldn't have art, or the art we would have would be like super OCD. You know what I mean? Which is fine too. Which is is art in a way. So let's talk about seven being a divine number. Why is seven divine? Seven is a divine number if you think about the, well, like, I think it's like, what is it, like seven chakras? I'll have to look that up later. Is it like seven things in the Kabbalistic tree of life? I don't know. That makes sense. I'm pretty sure. A lot of the stuff like escapes me sometimes. The seven is like divine because if you think about like Earth, right? Earth itself is in the habitable zone. It's in the perfect spot for life to exist. It's in this. I think it's like a Goldilocks zone. It's like a very perfect place for life to exist. But that's luck. That's random. That's random in a way. You know what I mean? The good luck in that is like we have life, we have everything. If you look at the universe as a whole, truck driving by. It's a rider truck, ever better, which is like what the universe is called. You're like a rider. You're riding this, like the universe is like riding this luck out in a way, where only one planet out of so many billions of planets is going to be perfect for life, and it's ever better. It's ever better each time. You get a more habitable planet. You get a more Goldilocks zone. You get more life. You get more divinity, you get more luck. You got people on other planets with like, you know, like 7 arms, you know, like that seventh arm they use, you know, for scratching their back or something. You know, so like you understand that perfection is also has 7 energy. You know, perfection, P would be the 16th letter of the alphabet, and 1 and 6 would be 7. You know, so understand that 1 and 6 would also be the beginning of shadow, or the beginning of family, or the beginning of, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like 7 is divine because this is a lucky thing that happened. Like you having conscious, you having the ability to operate as a human being, you having this chance of interacting with the environment around you where you could have been born as a planet, which is cool too. But you know, what if you were just there, just, you know, just orbiting, you know, a sun, just chilling? You know what I mean? Like it would be great, but it's like, where are your arms? Where are your feet? You can't really walk around if you're a planet, you know, kind of stuck in like an eternal cycle. Understanding that, you know, that's why I think luck is divine, why I think 7 is divine, because it's like very good luck that this planet exists. But if you look at it as a whole, the odds of there being a planet where organisms evolve into what we evolved into, super good luck. Also super bad luck. You know what I mean? Because what if you were born into a planet and all you did your whole day, your whole life was just orbit? That'd be pretty chill too. Um, Understanding that, yeah. This is a good video. I'm happy with this video. A lot of times when I make, well, most of the time when I make these videos, like I'm just making them like I'm just freestyling. You know, I'm just going off of my divine inspiration, just channeling my subconscious mind. That's what it really is. If you were thinking, you're being like logical. This is all just subconscious channeling in a way, which made me think of like Channel 7 News. Because that was 7 energy is like in my subconscious heavy right now. Yeah, I shall see you in the next one.